So, hello. Anybody that wants to talk now, we invite him to the platform. No, nobody can talk anymore. So anybody that wants to talk, you just chat. We invite you to the platform. So we are moving to vulnerability scanner. So I'd called mine. I was saying make directory mkdir vuln scanner. So you go to back to root, you come back to root, then you create, let me see you come back to root. My screen is already shared. I don't know. Can you see my screen? Okay. So you come back to root. Then you now make directory. So you that's when you type that make directory, you create another directly vuln scanner. Okay, are we all here? If you have created the directory, because I already created mine, so you now just change directory to what? Vuln scanner. So I believe these are basic stuff we have done. So what you need to do is you come back to root, you now go to that your former Python programs. So clear your screen, copy that your port scanner. That port scanner, you copy that, whatever you name it. I don't know what you call it. Me, I call my own port scanner final. Copy it. Port scanner final .py. So you are taking it to what? The directory that you created. Root / what? Vuln scanner. So what are the things you know? By the time you type that command, you would have copied it from there into that vuln scanner. So when you go there, you see it. So you can share. So if I come cd root, so you can move straight to your vuln scanner from here. So if I ls, I already have my own there. Is already there. So that's where we start from. So that's where we start from today. So I think my own here has been edited. So if we really want to work together, I have to be doing it step by step. I'll share the lecture note with you people now so that you have a note to read. This one has been edited to class already. So it has been edited, you can see, it has been edited to class. It's no longer that port scanner. This has been edited to class. So this is a class port scanner. So I think I should copy that other one, that port scanner final, bring it here. So I will use it as what? So you here you can rename your own to one port scanner final, then port scanner final class. So I want to copy, because I've actually modified this one. You will not understand it here until you start reading your script. Let me share the notes with you. So let me go back to this place. So when you ls, yeah, I have my port scanner final. So I will just say copy port scanner port dot scanner final dot py. I want to copy it to root, then my vol scanner. Sorry. What's up with that? That's it. What? So why am I having problem? No. It is not the direction. I think it is not the file. I'm trying to copy to file. It is not the file. It is the synth. Maybe I use this thing. Capital letter. So let me change directly to. So I want to copy. No, don't. There's no need for using change. Hello, Mr. Why are you using change mode? You are not. You are somewhere else. You are somewhere else, please. You are not in. Check your terminal. If you're having a / terminal, you are actually at the bin file, the file, the root file, the directory. Come back to root home. So. What's kind of final up here? Copy. No source file directly. Oh. Sorry, let me be sure. What we have here is port that scanner final.py. Yeah, I have done that. I'm trying to copy it, copy another file. Okay, let me do something. Let me try this first. I'm thinking maybe today. Copy. Let's see. I think okay. I think the iPhone is giving it problems, so it should be there now. So if I change directly to root to if you ls, I think both of them are now there. So let's clear this. So I have, if I ls now, I have we have 3 scripts here. We have the original gedit. We have the original port scanner that has not been changed. The one you wrote. This is it. So I have the class. This is the class. This is the class. Then I have the vulnerability scanner itself, which we have not finished. So that's the vulnerability scanner. So we're still building it. It's not much. The main work is actually converting that port scanner to what class. So let's start. Sorry, 1 minute. Let me just take this. Please, sorry about that. It was a distress call. So let me share the lecture notes with you people. Let me convert it to PDF. I share it with you people so that we can get going. So I hope we all understand what it means that a program is class. Do we understand that word? Do you understand what they mean by say a program is class? Do you know what that means? Okay. We'll treat it on we'll treat those, or I did not prepare for that, but we'll treat it. Sorry, just 1 minute. Let me just send this. So 1 minute. So this is your okay. That's your vulnerability scanner. That's the steps we're going to take. So let's start from the fourth step. The port number variable cannot be pasted into the scan function as the function only takes one parameter. Now, I think leave that first one. So let's come to the main. That's actually when we're declaring the vulnerability scanner itself. Now let's come to the, just leave that first one out. Hello? Leave that first one out. Now look at that's the port scan. So the first thing we do, we define what? Init. The init. Now, when we are actually defining a class, we define class, convert the program. We want to convert this particular program into what? Class. So let me come here. So you can use this as a guide as we take each step. So now the first thing we need to do is, now we have first the which of the particular functions is the most important. That is where we start from. We have the check IP function, we have the scan function, we have the banner function. So the first thing we did was to do what? We define what? The init function. Now, the init function actually is what? Is what that changes what? The old program into what? Scan. Class, sorry. So defining it, you first call out what? Your class function. So the formula for doing that the function defining that is, so the first thing you need to do is you actually implement this on the program. Sorry. So because we're going to modify that. So if I come here, this has already been done. Let me start. Actually, let me start from the one that has not been done. I think it's fine now. I don't know. Let me LS first and see what name is it. Port scanner final. Port scanner final 2. So you can bring up your format. The first thing you need to do, you come here and declare your init function. So the init function, class port scan So we are trying to convert it into class. Now you define your init function, __ init. And sorry, we are not using PyCharm because it's a little bit complex. That's why I did not want to use it. Now, PyCharm actually helps when you are typing the wrong code. It will be telling you that you are typing the wrong code. It will show some red at some point, then port _ num. I think we should stop here. I think I don't know how to do this, but let's just quickly treat this so that you understand these variables very, very, very well. Now, if we look at this, now the limitation of that particular first code is that we cannot specify the amount of ports we want to scan, the actual port number. You understand? It just actually, it tells you are scanning from, but this one, you want to add code the port number. This particular vulnerability scanner, you can actually list the IP you want to scan, the amount of ports. Now, the file list that you have vulnerabilities that you want to run it against, those are the 3 inputs. Now, one of it is port num. That's the port number. Then we have the vulnerability file. This is the vulnerability scanner script. But this is another script. That's that first part. But this one is the next part of the script. We are modifying we are modifying the script to become class. Now, when you name it class, the first thing you do is you retab. Before you even create your init, you retab everything. What I mean is this: you shift this here. You retab everything. You retab all the old functions. So you can take them function by function. Let me paste them on your. So once you call the class dot, what you do is you retab all the old functions to fall into that function you just actually called out. So we can be doing that together. So once you call the class function, you bring out the format script, call the you retab all this stuff back to the way it is here. Sorry, 1 minute. So you retab. So you see, it's not a class where we need distraction at all. The class requires zero distraction. You are not here to play. So you see, it's serious work. You understand? once you declare the class function, you retab them. So I've actually done mine, but I'm actually redoing it here. So you bring, so you can, let's remove this init function first. Let's finish the retabbing. Let's finish the retabbing first. You bring define. Ensure all the define, they're on the same line. So we have only 4 functions, so retab all the 4 functions. When you retab it, we no longer, in this particular script, we no longer need this particular variable again. Since we are declaring variable in the vulnerability, you delete this. So that's the first thing you do when you are remodifying this particular script. So I don't know if we all are here. So I will wait till you finish the retabbing. Then we now move to the next phase. So if you are finished the retabbing, just let me know. So retab declare the class function, class, then retab the other function to align with it, the 4 functions we have. Please, if you are here, let me know. So retab, you retab everything. So when you retab, when you are done, please just actually screenshot and put on the WhatsApp handle. So when we are done with the returning, we now define what the init function. The init is what? The init is the self function that actually drives the class script. Sorry, so are we finished tabbing it? Because this is where the main work is. Once we can actually convert it to the class properly and define it in a way, while we are actually remodifying it, that if we import it into this way, into this, the script you are creating, it will not actually run. So we need to actually convert it to class, then modify it to suit the input variable we want to, we are trying to import it to. So that's why I said the first script, you must know the first version, then how we modified it. No, Mr. GK, delete that last part. That last part, delete it. You don't need it again. That if underscore name underscore main, delete it. Everything there. You are creating a new input in that new script. So you don't need it anymore. In this particular vulnerability file, you don't need it anymore. I think you shifted your define a little bit far, but I don't know. But why don't you bring it to the left? Is it to the left a bit? It looks like it's far, but they are all properly aligned though. But like you shifted it too far. Let me share my own script with you people. This is what mine looks like though. So $29. So delete all those other. Although I've modified this, so this is I've modified. There's a lot you actually do away with. So delete the rest of them. This is what mine looks like. This is what it should look like. So when you have actually done that, the next thing you come to actually declare is what the init. That's where you declare the init function. You declare the init function. So you come here, define it, define underscore init underscore self, comma, target, comma, port underscore norm. So Please don't look at that last stuff. It will confuse you. Just focus on the one I've done. Let me screenshot it and send to you. That one is actually an already, it takes steps. We take different steps to get to those spots. So after, sorry, this is the fourth step, step 1, and this is step 2. Step 2. So we've actually declared the scan. Then we've actually, secondly, we've actually when you convert to class, define init. So self.target is equals to what? Target. Self dot port underscore norm is equals to what? Port underscore norm. So those are the two variables we're actually using in the new method. I don't know if I'm going to confuse this class if I start using PyCharm, because if it's PyCharm, it shows you everything as it's coming up, so that you know that this particular code is wrong, this particular code is not wrong, because I just feel it to be, maybe we'll introduce it along the line, but for now, I wanted to take 2 or 3 projects before we introduce PyCharm. Now, class, we have declared what? We have declared converted the script to a class function. Now, the init function is a must because it converts all the functions into self. Now, the other part, now the self, because we are using a self method because it is class. Now, the other part we need to do now, since we already have this class and this parameter, we have to include the self parameter in all the functions. We have to include, now, how many functions do we have? We have the target function, the IP function, the banner function, and the scan port function. Now, the scan function, so what you come here is do what? So once you've declared your init, I think we've stopped here. I don't know if I'm rushing you guys. Am I moving too fast? Once you declared your init, this is your init function. This is class. This is init function. Once, am I moving too fast? So once you declared your, I don't know, you are not, maybe the other ones. Yeah, the object port number is actually the variable. Now, it's a variable in the vulnerability scanner. We have three variables in the vulnerability scanner. We have the target, we have the port number, we have the target, we have the port number, then we have the vulnerability file. So why we actually declare those two variables, so that it can actually be easily implemented in, you are importing this file into another file. So that is why we are modifying it to suit the file and the purpose of that main file. So all you are still doing is you are remodifying that port scanner you wrote so that it can suit the purpose of vulnerability scanner. So in that vulnerability scanner, that is why you actually deleted this object. The objects we have there are what? Target, port number, and what? File, vulnerability file. So I don't know if I've answered your question, Mr. Ekene. Now, all we need to do now, we have to add self to all this self. All the functions, you add self. That is the next step. So I don't want to give, and I can as well just share an already completed script with you people so that you can just copy and paste, but it's good you understand the steps to it. So the first step we did was, well, that's why I shared all the steps in the notes. So I can come here and just give you copy and paste of a converted script. Now, what we did here was to declare port scan. We tab these two. Then we declare this init function. Then we now actually added self to all the parameters. So let's say that we don't rush ourselves. I don't know if everybody is following. I think we stop here for today. So you have the notes. You can just follow through what we are changing, so that when we come on Thursday, we now complete this and actually start the other one. On Saturday, we now finish it and run it. I think we stop here. So what we've been able to do is we have concluded port scanner. We are now in vulnerability scanner. You've migrated your port scanner into the vulnerability scanner directory. You've modified it into a class. You declared the init function. You've introduced self in all the functions. Now, on Thursday, we'll complete the project. Now start the vulnerability script, scanner script itself, so that we import this. This is what it looks like. So when you save this, clear. Notice all of them have to be in the same directory. Now, this is what your script will look like at the end of the editing. There's no need showing that. We'll get to that place. So this is what your main vulnerability scanner looks like. So you will import it, as like you see, you import that script, then you now list what your target, your object, sorry. See that port number, the target, then the vulnerability file. So every other thing will complete those scripts. So I don't know if you all have questions. Sorry for the distraction. This particular stuff, it will become more intense and more concentrated. So there's no room for distraction, please. There's no room for distraction. I think the class is better this way, where nobody's hearing any sound. Anybody who wants to talk, just let me know. I'll bring you up to the stage to talk. I think this is the best way. So let's study your, okay. I think the best thing to do so that I can bring you up to speed, let me share the screenshot of the final with you so that you can study it with the script if you can actually figure it out till we get there. It's about 7 projects. So that why is because when you are learning it in the course, in the main course, it's no longer new to you. If there are imperfections at this place, you'll be perfecting it at that time. You'll be sharpening your skills seriously, because I've shown you how an interview is. They just write, they expect you to be able to complete the script. So to earn those salaries, not beans, is because they believe you are an expert and you have been trained to become once you just see the script, they expect you know what to write to complete the script. That is what this distinguishes you from a quack. So there's no room to come here and start creating sin. It's to come, you have paid your money, it's to come here and learn and go get the job you want to get. So this is what the final script should look like. So you can, I don't expect you to go and copy and paste. You're not doing yourself any good. Let me just still show you. So are you saying it? This is a what? An interview or a test session. All they just do is, this is Python. Are you saying this is Python? They believe they'll just tell you the scenario in the code. You can build it and write it on your own. You run it, you submit the solution. From there, they grade you. That's what some scenario interviews looks like. So if you are still cramming, you are not doing yourself any good. You understand? Those big salaries you see, they paid to those who can write the codes, who can do the job. So we'll take a pause here. If you have any question, I think we are moving at the right speed. Next week, then Thursday, we should be able to cover the script, then move to VonWeb. Then on this thing, the main script is not much, just simple. Simple and straightforward. In as much, this is where the main job is the port scanner modification. That's where the main work is. So if you want to ask any question, the question is, can you now open and write the port scanner script yourself without referring to anything? Write it afresh. Can you do that? Before we come on Thursday, try to look at the function. Try to be able to write it on your own. Let it be in your memory from the scratch. Let it be in your memory from the scratch. Hello, are you guys here? If you are here, please tell me yes. So tomorrow we'll be finalizing tools on Linux. We'll now be taking to advanced bash scripting. That's what. So because you as you can see, I don't know for others. Some people came here, they could not even manipulate the Linux command. So you are now manipulating Linux command. Not everybody can use OS and Linux OS. Now you want to expose yourself to advanced Linux. As you're writing Python now, you're actually getting used to advanced script, because all these things you are doing are what? Key penetration testing projects, tools. So that when you are using it in your main training, they are no longer new to you. You are adding more information and you are perfecting your skills. So we'll meet on tomorrow, but on Thursday we'll continue this particular training. So I'm sure it's getting interesting. But the only harm you can do to yourself is don't cram it on your own. Try to write it on your own from the scratch without looking at anything. Write it over and over. If I do the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, before you do the fifth time, you have mastered it. So thanks for coming around. We'll see you tomorrow.